Jaya Girivara Dhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivara Dhari. Jaya Girivara Dhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chare Yamuna Tiravana Chare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha, Krishna Chandra Radha, Krishna Chandra Radhe. Jayo Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jayo Nitai Gauranga. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtotra Shatashi Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतशीर्ष मध्य डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 19th chapter, text number 18 to 22. 18 to 21 I will read it by myself, 22 we will read together. Prabhavurvaya vaschandastamaha pamsavam hairayan digbibhyo nepitor gravanaha kshepanaihi prahita hiva. Translation. Fierce winds began to blow from all directions, spreading darkness occasioned by dust and hailstorms. Stones came in volleys from every corner as if thrown by machine guns. Text number 19. Dhyaurnashta bhaganabhraugaihi savidyutstanayitu nibihi varshadbihi puyakkeshashreg vinmutrastini chasakrat. Translation. The luminaries in outer space disappeared due to the skies being overcast with masses of clouds, which were accompanied by lightning and thunder. The sky rained pus, air, blood, stool, urine, and bones. Text number 20. Girayah pratyadrishyanta nana yudamucho anhaga Dhigvasaso yato dhanyaha Shulinyo muktamurdhaja. Translation. O sinless Vidura, mountains discharged weapons of various kinds, and naked demonesses armed with tridents appeared with their hair hanging loose. Text number 21. Bahubhiryaksharakshobhihi patyashvarata kunjarai atataibhiryutrishta imshravhacho ativayvashaha. Translation. Cruel and savage slogans were uttered by a host of ruffian yakshas and rakshasas, who all either marched on foot or rode on horses, elephants, or chariots. Text number 22, we'll chant together. Padushkritanam mayanam asurinam vinashayat sudarshanastram bhagavan prayungta dahitam tripad. Pradushkritanam mayanam asurinam vinashayat sudarshanastram bhagavan prayungta dahitam tripad. Pradushkritanam mayanam asurinam vinashaya sudarshanastram bhagavan prayungta dahitam tripad. Word to word meaning. Pradushkritanam, displayed. Mayanam, the magical forces. Asurinam, displayed by the demon. Vinashayat, desiring to destroy. Sudarshanastram, the Sudarshana weapon. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prayungta, through Dayitam, beloved. Tripad, the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The Lord, the personal enjoyer of all sacrifices, now discharged His beloved Sudarshana, which was capable of dispersing the magical forces displayed by the demon. Purport. Even famous yogis and demons can sometimes enact very magical feats by their mystical power. But in the presence of the Sudarshana Chakra, when it is let loose by the Lord, all such magical jugglery is dispersed. The instance of quarrel between Dhruva Maharaj and Maharaj Ambarish, Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambarish, is a practical example in this matter. Durvasa Muni wanted to display many magical wonders, but when the Sudarshana Chakra appeared, Durvasa himself was afraid and fled to various planets for his personal protection. The Lord is described here as Tripat, which means that He is the enjoyer of all three kinds of sacrifices. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord confirms that He is the beneficiary and enjoyer of all sacrifices, penances and austerities. The Lord is the enjoyer of three kinds of yajna. As further described in Bhagavad Gita, there are sacrifices of goods, sacrifices of meditation and sacrifices of philosophical speculation. Those on the paths of jnana, yoga and karma all have to come in the end to the Supreme Lord, because Vasudeva Sarvamiti, the Supreme Lord, is the ultimate enjoyer of everything. That is the perfection of all sacrifice. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Please repeat the translation. The Lord, the personal enjoyer of all sacrifices, now discharged His beloved Sudarshana, which was capable of dispersing the magical forces displayed by the demon. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurubhe Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we can see here in these verses further description of the fight between the demon Hiranyaksha and the Lord who appeared in the form of a hog Varaha. So the Lord appeared to kill this demon, Varaha. Who appeared in the form of Varaha to kill the demon Hiranyaksha. And this Hiranyaksha was not an ordinary demon. He was a very powerful demon. All demons have different kinds of Mayavi Shaktis. So, Hiranyaksha was started exhibiting his different Mayavi kalas, abilities. But the Lord, when he brought out his Sudarshana, all his so-called Mayavi abilities, everything was just finished. So, in the modern world, science, technology, all these also have brought out various kinds of bewildering powers. So living entities who are not sufficiently knowledgeable about the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead will be bewildered by all these kind of things. You can see here, in the previous verses, we can see how Hiranyaksha, what was the scale of his power that is exhibiting. He is, it is said that, here it is saying that you can see fierce winds began to blow from all directions. Prabhavuhu, Vayavaha, Chandaha, Tamaha. You see, here the modern powers, they exhibit their powers by weapons. Like we say, America has this power, China has this power, Russia has this kind of weapons and all those kind of things. And that itself is very bewildering to all of us, the kind of arms that these people possess. But here it is being said, it's not just arms. They fight disturbing the nature itself. Just like, I don't think any America or China has the power to create wind. Do they have? No. They have not found a power wherein they can create a storm. Like rather, for example, in America and all, very frequently hurricanes, all this comes. They also have no any solution for all these things. Just imagine if somebody had the power to create a tsunami, somebody had the power to create a hurricane. That will be far, far superior power to create destruction. So here it is said, Pradurshkritanam Mayanam Asurhanam Vinashayat. Mayinam Asurinam. He is creating different kinds of mayas in the fight with Varaha. So he is creating fierce winds which from all directions. Like for example, when we have a cyclone or something, we say from the eastern coast the cyclone is coming. Like in Odisha, when cyclone comes, in Bilai also we will have rainfall. But here he is saying that he created winds from east, west, north, south. All direction winds are coming. And then he created darkness. Sudden darkness he created, occasioned by dust and hailstorms. And stones came in volleys from every corner as if thrown by machine guns. Somebody is throwing stones at you. Can't imagine also how this kind of a thing. It looks like some comic book story. Right? It seems too far-fetched for us to even contemplate and visualize these kind of things. Next it says, the luminaries in outer space disappeared due to the skies being overcast with masses of clouds which were accompanied by lightning and thunder. The sky rained pus, air, blood, stool, urine and bones. Imagine. You're sitting here and suddenly blood, pus, urine, everything is falling from the sky. Hiranyaksha created that. Bhagavatam is saying Hiranyaksha created blood, urine. We should tell our great scientist, come on, you create this. Then it's saying, Giraya pratra dashyanta nana yuda mucho anaga digvasato yatu dhanya shalinyo mukta murdhajaha. Mountains discharged weapons of various kinds. Naked demonesses armed with tridents appeared with their hair hanging loose. Wow, wow. Rakshasis, different kinds of Rakshasis. Naked there, they're coming and jumping like this. You see in the temple, especially when and I have seen in South India, in the shikaras of the South Indian temples, you will find ghostly in the Kali temple, Mariamman temple and all there in South I have seen. Different kinds of ghosts and hobgoblins and everything, all with their breasts and all open, they'll be coming like this. And so Hiranyaksha is invoking all those people and they're all coming, trying to what? Trying to frighten the Supreme Personality of Godhead Varaha. He is thinking by doing all these things, Varaha will get scared and run away. And then he is saying, Bahubir yaksha rakshovihi patyashva rata kunjaraihi atata ibir utrishta himshravacho thivai vashaha. Cruel and savage slogans were uttered by hosts of ruffian yakshas and rakshasas who all either marched on foot or rode on horses, elephants and chariots. So if some gunda is there, what will he do? He will bring other gundas to try and terrorize the people. I remember Janardhan Prabhu was telling me one day in his childhood, when they was in school in Patna, he was telling that during Jai Shishi Radha Krishna Chandra Shishi Nitai Gauranaki, in the 1990s or late 80s, in Patna, there used to be Adivasis from Jharkhand. And they would come to Patna to protest. And these Adivasis were so fearsome. They looked so fierce. They would bring all the swords and spears and all those things. And then just to harass, they had their demands, whatever their demands were. We want this, we want that. So they would come to Patna in thousands of people. And then the Patna people used to all get frightened because of this fellow's protest. They would come and pass urine, stool in front of all the people's house openly. And Janardhan Prabhu used to tell me that we were so scared to get out of the house. All the schools would declare holiday on these kind of protest days. So when I am reading this, cruel and savage slogans were uttered by the hosts of ruffian yakshas and rakshasas who all either marched on foot or rode on horses, elephants and chariots. It's like we have seen in the movies all these scenes, no? Full like this. Those scenes were actually created. But here, when Hiranyaksha started doing all these things, what did the Lord do? Pradurshkritanam mayanam asurinam vinashayat. Sudarshanastram Bhagavan prayungta dayitam tripat. Seeing all these kind of disturbances being created by Varaha, the Lord called for his Sudarshana, and in his hand the Sudarshana started rolling. So obviously, all these kind of disturbing elements and factors will be completely destroyed by the power of Sudarshana. So here, Shukadeva Goswami is saying, the Lord, the personal enjoyer of all sacrifices, now discharged his beloved Sudarshana, which was capable of dispersing the magical forces displayed by the demon. It just completely destroyed all kinds of magical powers that he was trying to exhibit. So powerful, the Lord's one weapon can, whatever multiple things that he has, everything can be destroyed. Everything can be finished by the Lord. So that is the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here it is mentioned, Dayitam Tripat. The enjoyer of all sacrifices. 3 types of sacrifices. Dayitam Tripat. What are the 3 types of sacrifices? Prabhupada in this purport is explaining that. He is explaining the 3 types of sacrifices. The Lord is the enjoyer of 3 kinds of yajnas. What are those? As described in the Bhagavad Gita, the sacrifices of goods, sacrifices of meditation, and sacrifices of philosophical speculation. These on the paths of, what are these 3 paths? Jnana, Yoga and Karma. All have come in the end to the Supreme Lord. Sacrifices made, Dravyamaya Yajna. That is, Dravya means goods. Like Prabhupada is using the word of goods. Goods are Dravya. Like when we do Yajna, what we do? When we do Havan, we offer various Dravya. Then Prabhupada is saying sacrifices of meditation. That is what yoga, that comes in Yogamaya Yajna. Sacrifices in the form of yoga. Then Prabhupada is saying sacrifices of philosophical speculation. What is that? Jnanamaya Yajna. So when we say Tripat, what does it mean? It means Dravyamaya, then Yogamaya and Jnanamaya. The 3 types of yajnas. So the Lord is the enjoyer of all these 3 kinds of sacrifices. What does that mean? That means you surrender through Dravya, you surrender through Yoga, you surrender through Jnana. And the Lord is the receiver of, when somebody surrenders, he surrenders to what? To somebody. So you surrender all these things to the Supreme Lord. You surrender all these things to the Supreme Lord. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Krishna is saying, Bhoktaram, I am the receiver of all yajna tapasam. Of all kinds of sacrifices and tapasya, I am the receiver. Krishna is saying. So when we do all actions, that purpose of that actions is to surrender to Krishna. That is the truth. That is the purpose of the Supreme Lord. That is the purpose of our life, that we should surrender everything To the Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudarva. He is the receiver of everything. It should come to that platform. And Prabhupada says, chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is actually that. Chanting of the Lord's holy name actually gives these things. So in this material world, many Rakshasas, small, big, they show their various chamatkars. But it is nothing to what the Lord is even displaying currently, or what the Lord can display further also. Just like human beings, when they create something very small, they do something very small, but they talk about it so big. So many different kinds of phenomena are taking place in nature. Like for example, say now today artificial intelligence has become such a talking thing. Like if I don't know if any of you have used, if you start using artificial, you'll be surprised it can do so many things. It's a very revolutionary thing, because it is doing things like how we sit and think and analyze. Like that, it is doing things. It is analyzing and producing new things on its own. So that is very bewildering even for all people, that how machines have started to think and work. Like for example, say a car, we are driving a car, right? Now for driving a car we need a driver. But today there is driverless car. That means how it is assessing. To drive a car you should know, no, vehicle is coming, you have to take left turn, you take right turn. That the driver is using his intelligence. Right? Take for example from here, I want to go from here to Risali. There are so many turns, there are so many things. So a driver sits and thinks. When he is driving the car, he is not only managing the road, understanding all the various things will come, but he is also taking left turn, right turn. That means the driver is using his intelligence and driving. Now imagine today modern science has they have found out a way in which without the driver the car itself can go and reach its destination exactly to that place. That means they have made the machine to think and work. Right? And it is very bewildering for us. That, oh my God, how did they do this? How did they achieve these things? But actually, Prabhupada has given us knowledge. Prabhupada has given the vision. Every day, we are seeing the sun is rising exactly at the same spot. It is exactly setting at the same, this one. Seasons are created. Rain is created. I was reading one, the phenomena of photosynthesis. Such a complex phenomena. How it is happening? Somewhere light is coming. The plant is automatically generating from that light something else. So many processes. Everything is happening naturally. No scientist has created this phenomena. And the simple process of photosynthesis is far more complex than any so-called car driving artificial intelligence. But today, when the car is driving, we are saying, my God, what a invention, what a discovery this has been. But do we acknowledge that the Lord has already created a simple process of photosynthesis? We don't. How many things are happening? We don't think. Just like today, scientists are so, we created a test tube baby, test tube baby. The process of reproduction is so complex. Krishna has created it naturally, it is happening. What a system. Last 20 days I was in one treatment camp, and there in one lecture they were telling me, I attended one lecture. There in that lecture they are telling me about the excretionary system of this human body. It is such a complex process. You eat something. Say we all eat. We eat. Now the body has to pick up only the useful things and then excrete out. So that excreting out is such a complex process. So many organs are working, from your liver to kidney to lungs. Everything is doing different parts of the work to excrete out our different material. No scientist, no AI. Can AI make an excretionary model? They cannot do. But we don't acknowledge. We think that this is all natural. It has happened by itself. So, suppose until and unless we are sufficiently understood the expanse of the Lord's powers, Lord's capabilities, we will be bewildered by small things of so-called materially powerful people. If we wouldn't have come in touch with Prabhupada, we would have been in the same Kupamanduka Nyay. Oh, these are the real developments. These are the real powerful people. Because we got in touch with Prabhupada, Prabhupada opened our eyes to and reveal to us the vastness, the expansive nature of Krishna's powers and potential. That's why Krishna is saying, whatever material knowledge, Arjuna, that I am describing to you, it's only a fragment of my powers. So vast the Lord's power is. In the material world, because of people's lack of awareness of the Lord's potency, they are bewildered by all these things. In terms of power, even in terms of pleasure, like we are all seeking pleasure. But because, like Prabhupada says, pleasure, our acharyas constantly talk about this, that how living entities, for a tuchcha pleasure, this material, sensual pleasures that are available are very small in compared to the ocean of pleasure that the Lord can give us. So much pleasures the Lord can. Ramante yogino anante satyanande chidatmani. The yogis are already situated in bliss, yet they take great pleasure in describing the various glories of the Supreme Lord. So whether it is power, whether it is pleasure, the dimension in which when it is connected with the Lord, it is multiplied by millions and millions of times. It is incomparable to what power or pleasure that the material world can provide to us? It is nothing. So we can see how foolish the demons are. They are trying to challenge the power here. Hiranyaksha is trying to challenge the power and position of the Supreme Lord, who was standing in front of him as Varaha. Varaha has come. He has lifted the entire earth in his two tusks. Yet Hiranyaksha is not able to recognize that this is how can I fight with him? I will be defeated in no time. But Maya is so powerful that stupidity, because of his lust and anger, he has lost all intelligence. And he is trying to attack the Supreme Lord, which will only end up in his own destruction. So living entities, if they do not surrender to the divine will of the Lord, the end will be only their own destruction. So we must recognize the divine will of the Lord. The divine will of the Lord. What is the divine will of the Lord? Krishna very in no uncertain terms, Krishna has expressed his divine will. What is that divine will that Krishna has expressed? Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. That is what Krishna's divine will is. That is what Krishna desires. Krishna desires sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. That is Krishna's desire. That is Krishna's will. So as living entities, we must satisfy that will of the Supreme Lord. That is the purpose of our life. Let me make my activities in such a way that I conform my life to these aspects. Vacha, manasa, kriya, everything, how I can surrender to the Supreme Lord. This is the essence of spiritual life. Prabhupada is saying here that those on the paths of jnana, yoga and karma will have to come in the end to the Supreme Lord, because Vasudeva Sarvamiti, the Supreme Lord is the ultimate enjoyer of everything. That is the perfection of all sacrifices. So we must not be bewildered by so-called material progresses made by materialistic people. No. When Sudarshana comes, nothing can stop. Even big munis run in fear of it. Prabhupada is giving the example of Durvasa Muni here. Lord Ramachandra built a floating bridge in the ocean. Modern science, can they even think of such kind of a things? They cannot. We'll stop here if there's any question, comments. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की।